Okay, so good evening, everyone. Anyone can confirm if my voice is audible or not? Hari, can you confirm?
Yeah, it's audible.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Okay, so good evening and hello, and just welcome to our webinar on Purple Team Analyst version 2 Premium Edition launch webinar. I'm Nandini Bharadwaj. I'm the operating officer at Cyber Warfare Labs, and I'm really excited to have you all here with us today. So let's get started. Okay, so this slide is about our company, Cyber Warfare Labs. Cyber Warfare Labs is a UK-based edtech company. The company is committed to addressing cybersecurity challenges with real-time hands-on solution. Our virtual platform allow users to refine their skills through plug-and-play practical labs and a diverse range of certification courses. So our company has specifically two main divisions. The first is Cyber Range Labs. This division focuses on providing practical real-time solution to cybersecurity challenges. And they offer a virtual platform where user can engage in hands-on training through practical labs that are ready to use. And the second one is upscaling platform. So Cyber Warfare Labs offer a wide range of on-demand courses designed for individual at all skills level, that is from beginner to intermediate to advanced. And their instructor-led training services are available to educational institute, government agencies, and corporate organization as well. And that is online and offline training with online and offline training options. And here you can see this is the structure of our company that consists of red team, blue team, and purple team labs, and some major cloud vendors and some on-premise security tools. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Okay. So before we dive into that topic, let's introduce our speaker of today's webinar, that is Hari Sudhan. Yes. So Hari Sudhan is a senior security engineer at Cyber Warfare Labs, where his passion for cybersecurity shines through his work. With a strong interest in the cyber defense, Hari is on mission to foster digital security and safeguard against the ever-evolving landscape of cyber threats. And now he is ready to lead the webinar on this Purple Team Analyst version 2 launch webinar. So, if you have any question related to any topic, feel free to ask at the end of the webinar, and you can type them into the question box in your go-to webinar text box. Also, in the end of this webinar, we will be providing you the attendance certificate within 48 hours and the video recording for the same with the materials, this PDF file, and some of the lucky winner will get a chance to win the access of Purple Team Analyst version 2 Premium Edition course. That is the exclusive launch of by Cyber Warfare Labs. You can just fill out the form. The form link is provided in the welcome message as the welcome message that will be displayed in your chat box. So you can just feel free to fill out that form, and you might be the lucky winner to get access of this new course. So without further ado, I would like Hari to take over, and let's get started. Thank you, and I hope you will enjoy today's webinar. Thanks.
So yeah, so before getting started, so we can wait for few more minutes for other attendees for joining.
Hari, you can start the webinar. The attendance has joined the webinar.
So, cool.
Yeah, yeah. All the best. Thanks.
So, hello and everyone. So today we're just going to explore and detail about our newly launched Purple Team Analyst version 2 Premium Edition. So as you can clearly see, so our team CWL has been came up with a new training course named Purple Teaming Analyst version 2. Here we have integrated multiple new stuff, so which will be benefit for both offensive and defensive operator. So this webinar will included with the detailed information about what has been presented in our infrastructure and what have been pre-configured there. Let's proceed our training. So as we aware that the threat landscape has been constantly evolving, where the attacks are becoming more sophisticated and frequently happening. So the actual solution is to implementing some purple teaming training to proactively assess and enhance our security defense. It bridges the gap between offensive and defensive security terms and helps the organization to stay ahead of an emerging threat. So in general, as we know, the purple teaming is a collaborative operation between two traditional teams, the offensive and the defensive team. So the simple strategy, we will be designing the purple team to enhance the overall security of an organization ability to detect, prevent, and respond to a security threat effectively and efficiently. Before deep dive into our actual CPTA lab overview, we will be going through some basic ideology about the red and blue team. So generally, the red team aim is to identify weakness, vulnerability, and a blind spot in an organization's security processes, system, and infrastructure. So generally, the ultimate work of a red teamer is to constantly assess an infrastructure to identify some weakness or some flaw in an organization infrastructure. This can be assessed by simulating the real-world attack and adversarial tactic. This red team assessment will help the organization to understand where they are being most vulnerable and weakness. Generally, red team happens to identify the vulnerability, assess the security defense, and evaluate the security posture. Like as we aware, the red team act as an adversary testing of an organization defense and identify the weakness. Parallelly with the blue team. Blue team generally continuously monitor the organization network system and infrastructure for sign of unauthorized or malicious activity. This this can be the blue team can be achieved by using various security tools such as IDS, IPS, SIEM, EDRs, and etc. There are lots of tools which can be keep on constantly monitored across the organization infrastructure to identify its pattern. So this blue team generally helps us to monitor and detect, respond towards security incident, and helps for the threat intel and hunting. Like as we discussed previously, this specific methodology doesn't apt for the recent security threats. So for the constantly evolving cyber threats, so it is been recommended to implement or test with some advanced activities like the purple teaming exercises. It generally bridges the gap by simulating the attack and observing its pattern and creating a detection rule or for identifying its pattern or creating some detection rule for the same. The purple teaming life cycle. Generally, the purple teaming life cycle begins by the planning and preparation, red team engagement and initial assessment, blue team detection and investigation, and finally the post-exercise analysis and evaluation. So it is a pre-planned activity where the organization itself simulates some attacks with the help of the red teamer and monitor and identify its pattern with the help of the blue teamer. This approach generally this approach will generally helps us to identify the pattern of an attack, to detect if it really happens by the adversaries. So we in our CPTA version 2 we will be following the same following the same kind of life cycle where the participant will act as both the red and blue team. So where you can simulate the real world red team attacks and parallelly with identifying and creating a baseline detection rule for the same. Traditional on-premise purple teaming. Traditional on-premise purple teaming is a methodology or a systematic approach used to assess the security of a web, host, network, and Active Directory infrastructure of an organization. Regular security testing and assessment are crucial for maintaining a strong security posture in an ever-evolving threat landscape. So in an organization infrastructure, as we aware, we have different categories like the web application, host machines, Active Directory network, even with the cloud integrated infrastructure. So to tackle with the emerging threats, so it is recommended to perform and purple team exercise on various categories. Like we can perform a purple team exercise on a web-based applications. We can perform a purple team application on a host or an Active Directory based application. This methodology will help us to uh, identify the pattern and understand its actual behavior. So before deep diving into a stuff, so the general outcome of this purple teaming is like for the red teamers, they can identify the detection and investigation method of the blue teamer. In such case, it generally enhances the stealth operation of their offensive tactics. Parallelly, for the blue teamers, it helps us to enhance the identification of the exact threat and its malicious factor. So to tackle this specific gap, generally we aware that the blue teamers doesn't have much ideology about the offensive part, and the offensive operators doesn't have much ideology about the investigation and the detection part. To bridge the gap and tackle this specific issue, the CWL has been came up with some ideology like for building a specific purple team analyst training. So this specific CPTA version 2 provide a unified approach to a purple teaming, which equip the participant with the knowledge and skill become an effective purple teaming practitioner, which include various sections like investigation and detection, hunting cyber threat, performing breach and attack simulation, multiple defensive tools and investigation, and forensics investigation, and finally the custom rule creation part. By understanding this, the red teamer can effectively understand the complete work of the defensive operator, and the defensive operator can completely understand the workflow of the offensive operation. Our CPTA version 2 lab overview. Our purple team infrastructure will provide a collaborative and iterative process of both offensive and defensive operation, where the participant will act as a red teamer to identify the vulnerability and weakness in a simulated environment, and also the participant will also act as a blue teamer to identify and investigate the same simulated attack. So this specific process will enhance the security of an infrastructure by creating a baseline detection rule across multiple defensive solutions. So the given diagram will give a detailed illustration overview about our purple teaming version 2 infrastructure, where we have a dedicated organization infrastructure which consists of Active Directory network, enterprise systems, and web and mail servers. And parallelly, this specific organization architecture has been connected with multiple security solutions such as as SIM, incident response, network monitoring, threat intelligence, and incident management, and much more. We have a well classified exercises where the participant can perform both the simulated red team and the investigate the same. The key highlights. So in case of the red team, the participant will perform a breach and attack simulation on the organization infrastructure. This helps us to understand the working behavior of security solution and detection engineer to bypass it, and enhance the stealth red teaming skill by analyzing the blue team activity. And finally, simulating attack on various environments such as network, web, host, and active directory. So these are all the key highlights which are the outcomes of the purple teaming version 2, which we have been planned. And parallelly for the blue teamers, will get a hands-on investigation on various security solutions like SIEM, incident response tool, network monitoring, and threat intel, etc. And this specific uh, purple team version 2 will help you to understand the working behavior of various offensive operations to perform a better defense against the real threat. So as we are simulating the attack, so we will have a clear understanding how it's been generating a log, how the events are be accumulating on the same. So this specific simulation will helps us to do a better defense if in case of an real threats, and it enhances the real-time investigation skill. And finally, it helps in developing and refining the cybersecurity skill including network monitoring, intrusion detection, incident response, and security configuration management. Before deep diving into a lab architecture, so we will be have a small reference about the adversarial simulation. So adversarial simulation, often referred to as an red teaming, is a cybersecurity practice in which the team of expertise red team will simulate a TTPs of a potential adversary to assess an organization security posture. Here we will be doing the same. In our simulated enterprise infrastructure, we will be performing an adversary simulation to assess whether it's been affected with the weakness or it's been misconfigured with the potential vulnerability. This primary goal of adversary simulation will help us to identify vulnerability, weakness, and security gaps that could be exploited by the real-world malicious actor. Before this misconfiguration or been vulnerability is being exploited by the external actors, it is been recommended to test with the red teamers to prevent it in further case. So this gives you with a clear picture of the adversary simulation. Importance of defensive solution. As we see about the adversary simulation, so now let us discuss about the basic importance of defensive solution. The importance of defensive solution cannot be overstated, as they plays a crucial role in safeguarding against a wide range of threat and its vulnerability. Defensive solutions such as firewall, IDS, and IPS, and many EDR and XDR solutions are designed to detect and block malicious activity and cyber attacks. They provide and act as a critical layer of defense against threats like malware, phishing, ransomware, and other real-world cyber threats. The team CWL has also implemented a very like enterprise use defensive solution to get a hands-on idea about it. We have been integrated with nearly 6 defensive solutions in our purple teaming version 2 infrastructure. Like for the SIM monitoring, we have been integrated with Wazoo with the ELK solution. For the incident response, we will be using the Velociraptor. For the threat intel, we will be using the MISP. And for the incident management, the Hive is being recommended. And for the IDS and IPS, we have been integrated with the Suricata with the IDS tower. And for the network monitoring, we have been integrated with the Moloch, and finally with the OS query application. So these are all the tools which has been pre-installed and configured in our infrastructure for our blue team operation. So you will be get a very detailed idea about the working of this tool and how it's need to be act in case of the real world threats. CWL Lab Portal. We will be introducing our custom CWL web portal for our purple teaming training. It is not been designed for the purple teaming. It is also been developed for our upcoming and other trainings too. It is a specialized online platform designed to facilitate a collaborative training and knowledge sharing between the cyber security red team and the blue team members. This portal serves as a central hub for various training modules, resources, and interactive exercise aimed at to enhance the skill, knowledge, and collaboration between both the red and blue team operation. Let us navigate to our portal and we can have a clear understanding. So this is our official newly launched our cyber warfare custom portal where the authorized person can log in with their user credential using the single sign-on. After successfully logging, so we will be providing you with the custom created dashboard where the user can explore more about our purple teaming analyst version 2. After navigating to our courses, purchase courses, so this is our purple team version 2, what we have been introduced in our case. So we have multiple sections like introduction, lab walkthrough, lab access, and finally the exam criteria. In the lab walkthrough module, we have other subcategorization of web exploitation and investigation, network exploitation and investigation, host and active directory exploitation and investigation. Each module has been contained with multiple exercises like the directory traversal, SQL injection, and for the network we have nmap, ftp, ssh brute forcing, and for the host we have other categorization, and for the ad2 we have multiple interesting exercise like credential dumping, pass the hash, pass the key, curb roasting, golden ticket, silver tickets, and much more. So after purchasing the purple team version 2, you will be get accessing all this particular lab, all the particular exercises. Each exercises has its unique features. Like you will be simulating, you will be act as a purple team operator. You will be responsible for performing both offensive and defensive operation on the same simulated infrastructure. Each participant will be assigned with their ultimate objective, like on both offensive, both red and blue team operation. So it has a detailed description what is the actual objective for the red team exercise and for the blue team exercise. And we have been provided with the architecture diagram where the participant can clearly understand the complete flow and the entire working of the particular exercise. And the third would be the access. Each each participant will given with the access for the blue team solution and for the infrastructure too. And finally the write-ups. So we will be providing a detailed write-up which contain a detailed explanation about the both offensive and defensive operation. You will be guided with how you will be need to perform this specific attack and parallelly with this investigation step. And after completing the investigation, you will be guided to with creating a basic detection rule on both IDS and the SIM solution. This will give you a complete cycle of the purple team operation. This specific format will be followed on every module. Like if you're going through the active directory module on the WinRM exploitation, so the same will be repeated. So the participant will be provided with the clear objective on both offensive and defensive operation, the entire architecture diagram, the complete access level of both the enterprise credential and the blue team credential, and the complete write-up of the same. User can we have provided a centralized lab infrastructure where the participant can access the infra and perform the simulated attack. So this is what the complete flow of the purple team version 2. We have tried to bridge the gap between both the offensive and defensive operation. Even if you are a blue team operator, you will get a hands-on idea about the offensive technique, and you can have a clear-cut understanding the generation of log for the same, and it will be enhance your real-time investigation and monitoring. And if you are a red team operator, you will get a clear understanding about the complete investigation and detection of the specific attack. It will generally enhance your stealth operation in a further assessment or a engagement. So this is our custom module, and the final highlight of this module is we have been provided with the module based completion for the each step, where the user need to go through and complete every section, and if the module is been completed, the user will be allocated with the specific batch on the specific of the completion of the specific module. The user can also get track of the specific stats in their dashboard section. So here you will get a clear overview about your module completion, flag completion, and it can be also been shared with the social media too. So this is our complete plan of our purple teaming operation. Key features of the specific lab. So as we mentioned previously, so we have implemented a user like dedicated and authorized user authentication, and we have been provided you with the module based batch, and we have training modules and material covering purple teaming concepts, assessment and evaluation, and we have also included with the progress tracking and with some realistic scenario. So the ultimate goal of this CPTA version 2, as we discussed earlier, so you will be get a hands-on ideology about both the offensive and defensive operation on various scenarios on web, network, host, and Active Directory. You will be clearly guided with a PDF-based instruction of how to be exploited a centralized or infrastructure, and parallelly with the investigation and detection for the same, and finally with the rule creation. This specific flow will be repeated on every module. This flow will be applicable on every module such as web, network, host, and Active Directory. And parallelly, by completing it, you will be earn a module based badges, and will be shared with the users, shared over the social media too. And apart from this PDF based document, you will be also get access to the video content, like it's around like 2 to 2.5 hours. So you will be have a clear understanding about what is purple teaming and the importance of red offensive and defensive operations, and much more detail about the SIEM, incident response, and its working and its classification. So this is the complete plan of the purple team version 2. You can directly for more detail, you can directly access our website. So we have been provided with the detailed information about our purple team version 2 information. So we have been included with the information about our syllabus, which has been included in our video content, and the key lab highlights, and what are all the defensive solution which been integrated in our infrastructure, and the basic prerequisites and the certification procedure. And we are offering two different criteria. The first would be the community edition, and second with the premium edition. The premium edition, like for the community edition, the user will be deploying the purple team infrastructure on their local system, and the user will get an detailed instruction about the performance of red and blue team on the same configured infrastructure on their local system. And for the premium edition, the user will get access to the lab infrastructure via the VPN connection, and the user will guided through 30 plus different attacks and detection and investigation technique, and with the rule creation of for the same. And for the different categorization as we discussed previously. So these are all the key highlights of the Purple Team version 2. I hope this helps us to have a clear overview about our newly launched Purple Team Analyst version 2 certification. So feel free to drop your question so we can go through it. Let's go through the questions. So feel free to drop your questions there. Yeah, like after completing and practicing every exercise, we have been provided with the exam based module. So the participant need to complete the 24-hour based examination, and the user will be given with the accredible verified badge with the certification, and in addition with the module based badges too. The basic lab access for the users would be around 30 days. So the user can perform various attacks based on the instruction and for the deduction for the same. So the basic deadline of the specific lab is for the 30 days. So is there any expired date of the certification? So there is no expired date for the certification, but there is some restriction on the accessing of the lab. So, what are all the technical mechanism applied by red team or the blue team in order to determine the system vulnerability? So for this specific question, I will recommend it to simulate these, follow the MITRE attack framework. So we can assess the specific infrastructure using the reference with the MITRE attack framework, and we will get a if the actual infra system has been vulnerable, it can be exploited. But in case of the blue team section, so we need to have a clear understanding, or we need to be configure the infrastructure with the predefined rule. If this specific attack matches, so the SOC analyst will get an alert on this case. But this purple team operation, it's to balance the both the team. So if you get a hands-on on this specific both offensive and defensive operation, you will have a clear understanding to either like detect the suspicious anomalies or to perform a stealth operation in your offensive exercises. So is the course cover from the basic of AD and its attack? Yeah, so we have categorized it into some hierarchies. So here we can clearly see the categorization is start from the initial access, the easier phases, and with the advanced phases. It's applicable on the every modules. Like we will be covering the basic initial access like the WMI based initial access, SMB, WinRM, and we will be going with the credential dumping, and after dumping the credential. So it's a complete flow. Like we have been categorized based on its difficulty level. So the actual flow would be the easier to higher on every module. Yeah, like lab extension option is also available after completing the 30 days. I guess like just contact the support team. We can There is an option on extending the lab access to. Yeah. So this course specifically targeted for the beginners. Like this course specifically have some prerequisites. The participant should have some basic understanding about the red team operation and red team simulation parallelly with the blue team stuff. So it's not a very deep understanding, but the basic ideology, how the red team simulation work and how the blue team solution work. So as I mentioned previously, we also been giving with the complete video recording about the complete working, like what is an exact simulation, how it's been assessed, what would be the life cycle, and what are all the blue team solution, how it's the basic working of this blue team solution too. So so this specific training will be suitable for the beginners and intermediate and for the advanced too. So the next question, like what logs like Bazooka monitor custom decoder faucet. So in our infrastructure, we have been like as I mentioned, we have been configured the Bazooka for monitoring. So it will be generally fetch the web and host based log. For the network based monitoring, we have been using another solution called Moloch. So we in our infra we doesn't use the custom decoder, but we have been using the custom rules for every exercise. So there is also a training video or just a, so we will be providing both the training videos and the lab access after pre-purchasing the course. So in order to get a badge, get the badge, I need to work in both the report at the same times I'm doing the exercise. Yeah. So the actual flow would be like the participant will first go through the video content, and after completing the video content, the participant will be allocated with the specific lab access where they can perform each and every exercise. After completing the exercise, the user can, so this specific access would be on the lifelong access. So the actual lab access would be restricted for 30 days. After completing each and every exercise, the user can take the exam at any time. So after completing the examination, the user will be provided with the badge and certification. Yeah. So in our community edition, we will be included the basic configuration for the web and network based exploitation. We doesn't include the concepts of host and active directory. So we will be covering 4 different exercises on our community edition. But parallelly in our premium edition, we will be covering more than 30 plus exercise for on various sections like web, network, host, and AD. So what are all the advantages of doing CPTA? So as I mentioned previously, CPTA will generally enhance both the uh, offensive and defensive skill. So if you're more into an offensive operator, so you will get a basic understanding how the defensive operation works, how the blue teamers has been detecting and investigating the alerts which is being generated by the rules. So this specific process will enhance the red teamer, like to evade or to enhance their stealth operation. Parallelly for the blue teamers, it will helps us to understand the attack pattern. So if I'm performing the winaram and if I'm observing the logs for the same, so it will definitely enhance my real-time monitoring skill. And finally we will be also providing the rule creation too. So it is a complete pack. So it doesn't belong to a red teamer or a blue teamer. It's an intermediate, so both can be beneficial on this specific server. I hope I have majorly answered the questions. So if you have any other questions, like yeah, like there is one other interesting question. Check one. So how can we incorporate the cyber kill chain and attack MITRE as a purple team analyst, and how to execute and perform the training course? Yeah. So and like for answering this question, so we also integrated the MITRE attack mapping in each and every exercise. So this will gives us a clear picture how it's been mapped, and we will be also integrating the MITRE defense tactic. So for the countermeasure option 2. So it will gives a complete mapping of both the MITRE attack and the defense operation too. So yeah, as I mentioned, like I hope I answered most of the question. So if you have any other questions or query, feel free to contact the support team, support@cyberwarfare.live. So we are very happy to answer your queries. I hope this specific webinar will help you to understand what we have been launched and what are all the main features in our CPTA version 2 training. Thanks for joining.